An opportunity came up where someone was winding down their business. I thought maybe I could add value to myself.
20 years. What's your feeling about the journey of entrepreneurship?
As a first generation entrepreneur, yes, it's a big task because there's no platform.
Namaste, Vanakkam, and welcome to the Success Secrets podcast. It's a one of a kind of a podcast where we interview entrepreneurs to know their success secrets. Right today with us we have Prabhu Alagappan, an entrepreneur into the space of corporate stationery, and we welcome you, Prabhuji, for being here today with us in the studio.
Thank you, Akash.
So let's get started. The first question of the evening. So Prabhu sir, when did you start this journey of entrepreneurship in your life?
2004, 2nd of June.
Super. And I believe you're one of the people who have interviewed so far who's very specific with the dates. So a big thank you. 2nd of June 2004. So you have an experience of close to about 20 years as on date.
Yes, 20 plus years.
20 plus years. That's great. And prior to that, what were you doing?
I worked as a trainee engineer for 4 months and as a banker for about 7.5 years.
Super. So being in the banking industry and shifting to an entrepreneurship, it's a big step. How did that happen?
An opportunity came up where someone was winding down their business, and I thought maybe I could add value to myself and explore the journey of being an entrepreneur.
Right. So 20 years. What's your feeling about the journey of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's been work every day.
Nice. So generally, entrepreneurship in the world outside, people see it as a big task, a big heap of work to do. So how would you define that for yourself in this space?
As a first generation entrepreneur, it's been a wonderful journey. Yes, it's a big task because there's no platform. There's nothing which is created. So we need to sustain ourselves on a day-to-day basis, establish credibility in the market so that people speak about us and buy from us and engage us for their services, and also look at opportunities to grow simultaneously. So all these things need to happen hand in hand simultaneously. So this is something that I see as that's what happened.
Super. So coming to the next question, I believe that this paper industry or the corporate stationery industry has evolved a lot since we have come into the 21st century. They say that maybe in the next few years that things might go out of paper, news might go out of paper and become tech, and all of this. So amidst this, how do you see as an entrepreneur your progress and growth in this business?
Akash, that's a very pertinent question to ask because each day technology is finding new ways to improve productivity and to reduce redundancy. So paper is a substrate on which ideas and documents are stored, and there are newer ways that technology brings about to store that. So yes, this will evolve over a period of time. Non-essential storage on paper will move away. So we will have to find ways to keep ourselves relevant and to adapt to the future changes.
Brilliant. So thank you for this particular answer, but I believe that still, at least for me, as we have moving into technology, whenever an idea comes, if I write it down on the paper, things start to keep moving. So with that belief, I wish that paper never goes out of extinct, and a lot of power in terms of tales and in terms of folklore is being recorded on paper for thousands and lakhs of years, and that's still available to us in forms of manuscripts. That is, the whole credit goes to paper, and that's a part of the industry to do. So I hope so it doesn't go out of extent and it becomes still relevant. So apart from paper, what else do you do in this segment?
Writing boards, writing instruments like pens, pencils, markers, highlighters, the set there, drawing pins, clips, pads, notebooks, So anything that is used in an office for as a stationary requirement. Apart from that, we do rubber bands, we do stretch films, which is used envelopes, which is used every day by people at office.
So to further take this a little higher notch, since we talk about corporate stationery is the place you are in, and you are dealing with a lot of corporates. Uh, can you tell us a few stories about the clients you have served and what they have experienced with PRP papers or with Prabhu Alagappan?
Okay. Clients experience predictability with us. So we are a process driven company. We believe that everything can be done in a systematic manner if we follow a process. So our say do gap is pretty low. What we say, we try and fulfill that so that the client finds it comfortable to work with us. So over a period of time, we have built this with clients so that they feel comfortable when they work with us, and when we tell them that something is not happening according to the plan, then they can make suitable changes accordingly.
Okay, so and I also believe that your supplies are of very key importance for the corporates to work, and the efficiency and the productivity to be better, right? So how do you go about day in day out for the last 20 years have been able to handle and deliver that to them?
See, the product that we sell is not something that we manufacture. We are traders, we are merchants. So there is a solution which is available in the market readily. We are not in any part creator of the solution. What we try and do is we try and match the best possible solution to the problem, so that the client, if there are clients who are sensitive about price, for them price alone matters, nothing else. So we try and tell them that this is the best possible price that they can get for barely acceptable, no, the bare minimum performance criteria, and this is the price at which it will come. So we keep them informed. There are other clients who say that price is not a matter at all, what I need is functionality. So we tell them this is the best possible product available for their requirement. There are clients who tell them that they want a match of both. So we try and understand the requirement of the client and pitch a product to them which we think is ideally suited for their requirement.
Super. So one thing today you would advise to Prabhu Alagappan, who was a founder entrepreneur in 2004, or a first gen entrepreneur just got into entrepreneurship in 2004. One key advice you will give him.
The one key advice that I will give to Prabhu Alagappan 20 years back would be to keep the faith, don't get nervous.
Brilliant.
It'll work out in the end.
Super. So that's a brilliant, I would say, to most of the young entrepreneurs who are starting out, to have this kind of faith and trust that at the end everything is going to work out. Moving forward, so as a corporate stationery entrepreneur, what are the kind of clients you deal with? We want to know in particular where you've tasted success in which segment and which kind of corporates you have dealt with.
See, the products that we do is readily usable by almost every office, by
Yes.
almost everyone. But yes, we do have certain silos which we would like to work with on a longer term. One of them would be fintech, the BFSI companies. Then there would be the ones that deal with healthcare, and then there would be the SMEs. So these are clients with whom we have a certain level of comfort. The clients whom we are not at all familiar with are clients in the unorganized sector who, for example, who run a single shop or who run a single Xerox shop. We find that difficult to handle because their requirements are not steady, and there are no processes, and their compliance levels are pretty low. And so we would want to grow up and deal up, up network. That's what we are trying to do.
Right. So brilliant. One of the, there are a lot of companies from Chennai who have actually stationed in the US, and there are a lot of corporates who have their share listings in the US share market but are operating out of Chennai and Tamil Nadu. So when you are dealing with such clients, are there any difference of paper sizes or what they are looking for, and how are you able to help them with that?
By and large, the paper sizes are standard, except for companies that have some specific requirements. There's a size which is called the American letter size or the American A4, which is slightly shorter and slightly broader than the A4 paper that we use in India. So this is something which is a very it's very uncommon, but few clients have that kind of requirement, and since we stock this item, we do get that business.
And you're also able to deliver it in a span of 28-48 hours.
Yes, that's again, that's something that depends on what the client wants. Sometimes clients want a phased delivery. They don't want the entire thing to be delivered in one go. They would want it to be staggered. In some cases, they are looking for a one shot delivery. So this is something that depends on case to case basis and what each client wants.
Super. But let's say that if I want let's say around 10,000 papers of the American A4, I can get a delivery in the next 48 hours, is what I
You
meant to
can,
ask.
you
Yeah,
can.
brilliant. So apart from that, one biggest risk you have taken in your entrepreneurship journey till date?
This is something that I didn't take. I moved in the direction and it just happened. I Earlier we were distributing paper for a company which for some reason ran into some financial rough weather, and temporarily their production was suspended. So we were at the crossroads. We had a good team, and we had people who understood business and all that. We had good clients, and we didn't have the product to trade. So that's what it was. And from out of the blue, we got connected to JK Paper, a company that we are dealing with distributing paper for right now, and they asked us to move from bigger size paper into copier paper. Copier paper is essentially ready to use paper, so it doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to be converted into any other form. It can be fed into a printing machine and it can be printed on. So it is essentially an FMCG kind of product. So we never had experience. So this transition happened in 2016. So this was after about 12 years after we started the company, and it was a point of crisis for us. We didn't know whether to take it up or not, and we didn't have the infrastructure, we didn't have the clients to handle this, because this is a totally new product. As I said, it's a ready to use product. It's more a B2C product. And all our customers earlier to this were B2B. They were publishers, they were notebook manufacturers, they were into some kind of conversion, wedding card manufacturers. So there, where we dealt, where the volume was sold to one, two, three kinds of people. But here we had to sell smaller quantities to larger number of people. So this is more like selling soap, and this is the transition that we made. This is one of the, you know
The biggest
hair
risk.
raising moments in my life.
Yeah, super. So, and I'm sure that it has paid off today.
Yeah, it has. The only thing is that if I was given a chance to do it again, I'll do it again. But it's like getting on a roller coaster.
Brilliant.
So
So for entrepreneurs, Prabhu sir says you should take calculated risks.
you should trust the journey that life takes you on. That's what I personally believe. More of serendipity. It just happened. We were nudged into certain directions by life, and that's what I see.
Brilliant. So moving forward to the next question, uh, we've had a lot of discussion about where we were, what we did, how we have grown as an entrepreneur. So let's say that somebody like you is starting their entrepreneurial journey today, and if you had to give them three tips, what would that be, and which will take them towards the path of success?
I don't think I have the wherewithal to give tips to someone. I'll tell you what I believe in. I believe that an organization has to be for a larger good beyond just making money. So, this is one. Two, it has to be compliant with the laws of the land. Whatever be the laws, it needs to be compliant. And three, if an organization wants to scale up, it needs to be process driven. If we can incorporate this in everything that we do, then success becomes a byproduct.
Brilliant. So one thing I would take out of this is being compliant with the laws of the land is something which most of the entrepreneurs when they start out is a pretty negligible part, and they can, when they scale up, they'll be able to change the whole thing. But trust me with this part, if the moment you start, if you're compliant with all the laws of the land, you'll be able to scale faster. So with that, we thank Prabhuji for being here on this podcast
Thank you,
and
Akash.
making a big difference to this community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.